I've got Ricky Ingram with me today. Ricky is a PT and he's also you're not just starting your business, you've been in business a while, haven't you, doing your visual branding?
Indeed.
So we're going to talk all things marketing, branding you, and a lot about Ricky. So I'll let you introduce yourself, Ricky.
Right. So hi, everyone. Thanks for having me on, by the way, Sally. So my name's Ricky. My backstory is fitness. I started off in fitness about, 7-8 years ago. I've been a personal trainer, nutritionist, all that kind of stuff. Worked in gyms, done all the fun fitness stuff that we all know happens. But it all started off really, the transition for me was when I built an online fitness platform called Bodies Made Online. And I did some high ticket online training as well. And over time, that became quite successful. I had a lot of people on there. And over the years, I basically fell in love with branding and marketing because I realized that no matter what business I was in, no matter what I'm doing, no matter what I ever decide to do, if I didn't have the tools to brand myself efficiently and have the tools to market myself correctly, no one even knew who I was, no one knew I existed, and no one knew what I had to offer. So I spent probably the last 3 years spending a lot of money on coaches, spending a lot of money on courses to learn how to market myself, how to brand myself at the most efficient and beneficial way to gain clients and to build a pretty successful business now. So yeah, that's it.
Yeah, brilliant. Right, so how did you start then? Where did you start about branding yourself? Because I know you talk about the PTing side, but going into sort of the marketing side is completely different. So how did you start by marketing you?
Well, end of the day, I've always worked for myself. Actually, that's a lie. I worked for David Lloyd, but even though I worked for David Lloyd, it was still pretty much a self-employed role. So it's always been me. As much as I've had business partners, it's always been about me and kind of who I am and my brand. What does my brand stand for? My core values, my mission statements, like what is it about? And when I was doing fitness, it was about helping people to transform their lives to not just a quick fix, but more of a lifestyle change. And I mainly focused on weight loss and fat loss. I don't know if anyone knows, but I did lose 9 stone.
No, even I didn't know that. No, wow.
Yeah, see, because obviously now I do more the marketing side of things, I don't promote so much the fitness. But yeah, my story was I lost 9 stone. When I was 18, I weighed 21 stone. So that was kind of my...
I can't even imagine that, Ricky. Looking at you now, no way. My friends are always jealous when they know I'm talking to you.
I'll show you after this. But as you can imagine, that story, that social proof, it really helped because obviously people related to me and it helped me get my message out there. So basically, that was my brand. It was about helping people, being honest, doing it in a way where it's no quick fixes. It was, this is how you do it. This is how I've done it. And do it. And then obviously once I kind of branded myself, at one point, I've made mistakes over the years, and this is advice I give to anyone. One thing I did have for a while is I branded myself as the progress coach. And I loved it at the time when I was a bit younger because I was like, oh yeah, progress. I stand for helping people to make daily progress towards their goals.
Yeah.
But the thing is that I realized over the years is no one really resonated with the progress coach. They resonated with Ricky Ingram. The brand wasn't the progress coach, it was me.
So how did you recognize that then? What triggered you to know that?
No one ever, it linked a bit into marketing research reasons in terms of people actually looking for me. No one ever looked for the progress coach.
Yeah.
It was all my social medias, all my websites, they were called the progress coach. Facebook was the progress coach. It long story short, people, especially coaches, they are the brand. Unless you have 10, 20 people working for you, you don't need to have a big corporate business name. You are better to keep it as your name yourself because that's who people pay for. Anytime you should change your name from, say, your name, Sally, to you call it, say, something bigger is when you've got 5, 10 to 10 people working for you because it gets to a point where you're not really the brand anymore because there's you. But if a lot of individual coaches watch your stuff. So yeah, and that's something I learned over the years, and it was something so silly, but the second I changed it, it really helped my fitness, my online especially, because that's where it was, really grow. But in terms of branding, All the other stuff is more, how do you look? So, for example, anyone who comes to me right now is like, I want to grow an online business. The odds are they're never going to meet you face to face. So they don't know who you are. They don't know what you do. So they don't know how you live, what you do, all this. So social media is your way of showing them who you are, what you do, what you stand for, what you believe, and how you do them. But yet you go on their social media accounts and you don't even know, there's nothing about them. He doesn't know what they do, don't know who they are. They're hardly on there. They're not out there to the world. They're not visible. You've got to realize everyone, you are your brand. So if you want to ever get hired by someone online, different if you're going to networking events, because you can show who you are face to face.
Yeah.
If you're online, the only way to be successful is by being yourself, by showing people who you are, what you stand for, how you can help them, and being visible across all platforms.
Yeah. I know one of the big things I get asked a lot is, how do you do it? How do you do it every day? How do you show up every day? But
to be honest with you, it's I personally, I have a mix. I use the typical, social media scheduling, but I only schedule maybe 3-4 posts a month. Sorry, and it's quick. I don't like wasting loads of time on social media, because honestly, I don't know if anyone saw my post yesterday, but something like 5.5% of your Facebook friends see your posts.
Yeah, I saw you did some stats on that. I was surprised.
Yeah, I copied that from the internet, because there's a post that they bring out at the end of every year that shows the stats of social media that's just gone.
Yeah,
they have a stats of what's gone up, what's gone down, what next year's looking like, and they were just going on about loads of stuff, and that really made me think. And then I took a step back and I really looked at what I've been posting. Videos, who views it? Instagram, who watches my stories? Same people every time.
But it's great that they do that. But I don't know whether it's true or not. But do they pick up the lurkers in the background? Because I know something that I was sort of taught early on in the business was that you get so many, especially on places like LinkedIn. There are so many people watching you that might never comment, they might never like. They are just there watching you in the background, and I find that fascinating.
You're completely right. I mean, I might have sounded a bit too, like I was moaning about it too much.
What are you moaning?
Because it's 5.5, but you're right. No, seriously, I had last week, I had a woman comment on a video I did about needing some help. I booked her in for a call, and she turned into a $5,000 client.
Yeah.
And she said she's been watching my stuff for ages. So no, you're right. And that's why anyone, as much as I might have just procrastinated about social media, I still posting it every day. But what I'm saying to people is, don't overcomplicate. I know so many people that spend so much time. Most of the time, I write stuff as it comes to my mind.
Yeah.
I'll be in the gym and I'll do a post because I was just thinking about something, or I do a video because I'm thinking about it. I don't like to overcomplicate social media, because it's a great tool to use, but it's not the all and end all.
Yeah. No. What other tools do you suggest then? What else do you do then?
I mean, so it's different for fitness as it is for more branding and marketing. I mean, the way that me and my business partner Kerry grew our business quite fast was one, connections, relationships. They, if you want to work with someone who does high ticket stuff, connections, relationships are huge.
Yeah.
But if you're an online business, that's a bit harder. But stuff like what we're doing right now is great because it's more eyes on you. But we did a few challenges. I like a challenge, but you normally attract the wrong kind of people who just want free. So that's a worry as well. Other ways.
But does that not raise your profile at all?
It does raise your profile, and hopefully the way that you've just got to work out the numbers. If you can get everyone on your challenge for free, then it's a win-win. It's just about your time. But if you're paying for Facebook ads to drive people to your challenge, you've just got to work the numbers out. If you spend £300-400 on, say, a Facebook ad, then you kind of want to know how much return you're getting for that.
Yeah, true. Yeah, absolutely.
If you do, let's say for example, you do a challenge, you spend £400 on a challenge, and you on average, even if you on average convert one person every challenge for £2,000, well, you might think actually it's not the world's best return for Facebook ads, but it's worth it, so I'll do it again. And you will still then have more eyes on you and more following. But we like to do a mix. Me and Kerry, we do Facebook ad consultation, low ticket products through Facebook ads, but we do the organic stuff. So we do LinkedIn, social media, interacting in groups. We do go to networking events. We send out letters to local businesses. We sent out, I'm just going to guess here, maybe I'd say around about 100 letters. Bear in mind, it cost us like £20.
Yeah.
We're graphic designers, so we designed like a nice little letter. They looked nice, wrote something personal, and then printed it up and signed it. Sent it to local businesses saying, hi, we've had a look at your business. We live locally and we'd love to offer you a free branding and strategy call, strategy meeting.
Right. Yeah.
Love to actually help you to find loops in your business and see how we can help you to take to the next level. Also, short booked in 4 meetings from them 100, and all 4 of them signed up.
So that was a good return then. Just for,
very good return. That's just something silly.
I think we forget the power of sort of a letter these days, don't we? Because we tend to rely, as you say, completely on social media. We think that's where it all is. But I know as you know, I'm collaborating at the moment with 2 other coaches and a mediator, ready to sort of launch in the new year. And that's one of the things we've been talking about is, as opposed to using social media for everything, we're actually going to contact companies directly through a handwritten letter about who we are.
That's even better.
Yeah.
That is.
Because we said everybody has forgotten that personal touch, that it's how much it does count. And people have said to us, they'll throw it in the bin. But we said, actually, a handwritten letter, you're more likely to open than a standard brown envelope.
Actively. I mean, there's so many ways to do it. And the thing is, any marketer who tells you, you're wasting time organically, you should just be doing paid ads, is an idiot. And anyone who tells you should just be doing organic is an idiot. It's a combination of the two. You've got to mix and match.
Can you just explain to everybody what we mean by organic? Because I know that obviously we know this, but a lot of people don't.
Basically, anything that requires no money. Basically, that's organic. But the downside to organic, it's time consuming and it requires a lot of consistency and effort, like anything in life. This is why people resort to fat loss pills instead of doing it properly, because they don't want the quick fix, right? But that's life, I'm afraid, and that's like marketing. End of the day, like when I grew my fitness business, I didn't have a lot of money at the time. When I first started bodybuilding online, I spent so much bloody money on this amazing platform and didn't have anything for marketing. Idiot, learn your lesson. But instead, do you know what I did? I sat there and I started following people who matched my ideal client. I started messaging them organically. I started conversations. And my main goal for every conversation was to send them a Calendly link, because I know that as much as I'm not bragging, I know my ability to sell when I'm on the phone. I know my ability to show the passion that I have when I'm on the phone. So my goal for everything back then, get them on the phone. Get them on the phone. Because once they're on the phone, I've got them. To a degree, I wasn't the world's best, but good enough for me. So I was doing everything I can. I was interacting in Facebook groups. I was sharing in groups. I was following people on Instagram. I was messaging people on Instagram. I was doing the same on LinkedIn. I was doing the same on Twitter. What else was I was doing? Loads.
Did you ever feel anxious about it, Ricky, when you were doing it? Because I know that's something that I know when I first started, the anxiety of messaging people cold or going into groups and showing up. I used to post something and then literally sit back and freeze and go, oh God, they're going to think I'm a right idiot. I hated it at first.
Seriously, I honestly think the quicker you accept that we're all idiots, the easier it is. Because I look like idiot in some of the videos I do. My mum, when I first started, I think people don't care now. They do it so long. My mates were like, what are you going on about? Because they don't understand. But it gets noticed after a while. And it's different in groups, I find. People literally think you're an idiot, you're spam, go away. But you just got to be seen, and it's hard. I mean, I think at one point when I first started doing it, groups were great, but nowadays they're really tough because everyone's doing the same thing, bombarding groups with content. But I still think
to be fair, I've even noticed it in this group. I find that whilst I'm making this about guys and a community, the amount of times that I see somebody about to join, I hit the approve button because I've had to do that. I know it sounds awful because it shouldn't be like that, but I've had to do it because it's just been a spam post selling, and you think, this is not what this is about. And I clearly state it in the rules. And you think some people just don't care. They don't respect that. So I should go delete, get out. So,
it's hard. I mean, a lot of marketers these days are doing things really low ticket and then trying to upsell them, which isn't anything new.
When you say low ticket, what do you mean?
So like, join a Facebook group for £3.50 a month. Join a WhatsApp or download my free. For example, like with us at Visual.
Don't say free ebook.
I made a mistake once. I must admit, for anyone listening, 4 years ago, I hired a Facebook advertising agency. I really started learning about it. I knew enough about it, but not enough. I must have spent about $3,000. And then if it was, they were just focusing on ebooks. But then, you know, people were downloading them, but then the open rates were awful for the ebook. And then we started, but it kind of came down to my problem, because one thing I realized was about the people I was targeting as well that I didn't understand then. I was targeting people who like Weight Watchers, who like Slimming World.
Yeah.
Any normal person would think, well, that's great, because these people want to lose weight, right? They're doing weight loss plans. Think deeper. What's the problem with people who do Weight Watchers and Slimming World? One, they don't want to spend a lot of money because it's cheap. 2, 9 out of 10, if they've done Slimming World and they're still following it, they fail. So they're not very consistent. So when I jump on the phone to them and go, right, I can help you to get from here to here all the way to where you want to be. I can give everything you need. All I need is your undivided attention and your consistency. Okay, great. How much would that be? Well, I charge £2,500 for 4 months. They go, what? Hell no. So then what I did, then this is literally what I did afterwards. It took me 2 years to figure this out. And it drives me mad now. I started targeting people in property. I started targeting property developers, directors, SEOs, and coaches. So I now work, I say now, I have a few clients still. I don't do loads this day and age. I was working with coaches, property developers on helping them get into shape. But what's the difference between a property developer and a coach? They understand the importance of looking after themselves. Yeah, absolutely. They're not shy to invest money as well. Yeah, it's been so that one little change, that one change in my business, changing my ideal client, because I thought my ideal client was these Weight Watchers people. But they weren't. My client was someone who is like me, who understands the importance of looking after your body, who understands that to change your life, sometimes you've got to invest money. And the best investment in the world is your health. So then I started targeting people like me. When I told them $2,500, these people so wanted to change their life, and they understood that they had to invest. They were like, no,
that is the hardest thing about what we do, is the fact that people don't appreciate, you know, that it's they're paying for the expertise that you've learned over the years. People don't appreciate that's, as you said, because of the Weight Watchers and the Slimming World sort of scenarios in anything out there, any business. It literally does apply to every business. People don't see the value of the fact that you're an expert in what you do. Yeah, Weight Watchers and Co, they're experts to a point, but they're a massive brand. And as you say, their catch is the £10 a month, but there's so much more to it that you're going to keep failing. You're going to keep falling over because you're not investing in yourself.
Exactly. And the funny thing is I mean, a little tip for everyone that I did when I wrote down all the reasons why someone should work with me. I wrote down every single reason on my notes. So every time I had a call, I would go through on that thing all the reasons they should work with me. How much money they would have spent over their life on failed attempts to lose weight, or the product, or the weight loss products. I've had clients before who's bought this course, this weight loss book, that weight loss book. And it's actually, if you work out how much you spent over the last 10 years on weight loss products, fat loss teas, you've spent more than $2,500 than you would have done with me.
Yeah.
Little things like that.
God, I never thought of it that way.
You realise little things like this, right?
Yeah.
And it's same with me. If I invested in a coach 6 years ago instead of 3 years ago, I would have saved more money because I spent so much money making mistakes.
Yeah. What's the biggest mistake you've made then, Ricky?
Honestly, probably Bodies Made Online at first. I spent $12,000 building it.
Yeah.
And I had no money to market it.
Yeah.
honestly, I could have spent £6,000 and it could have been half as good if I marketed it correctly. I would have made more money faster.
Yeah.
People don't realize the power of marketing. You got to realize I don't just do, I'm doing marketing for a vast amount of people. My own business, fitness, but you got marketing, branding business, personal training business. I do marketing for property businesses, storage, removal. What else do we do? Oh, we do a lot. Let's put it that way. But they're all the same to a degree. And then realize that without marketing, you've got to have the branding first, but then without marketing after, it doesn't matter if you've got this great product, but if you can't get anyone to come to the product, to drive them to it, no one even knows it exists.
No, do you know what? It's really funny. When I first started everything I was doing, I was hell bent that the first thing I needed was a website. I kept going on and on about it. And my business coach at the time, he kept saying, look, park the thing about the website that's going on in the background. You've got so much more to learn first. You've got to learn about you. You've got to get, as you say, you've got to get your marketing, branding right. I needed to learn about content and writing content, about putting myself out there. And I was like, no, I need my website. I can't do anything without my website. And it must have taken him about 2 months to go, you do not need your website yet. That comes at the end of it.
You're right. And the funny thing is, obviously, I design websites for a living. So if I'm saying this, then it's obviously right, because I'm basically telling people not to spend money with me. Because you don't need a website. Like, for example, since launching visual branding, we've rebranded it 3 times.
Yeah.
And we're branding specialists, for God's sake. Because you're constantly improving. You started realizing when we started visual branding, we had a direction, but the direction's done this, and we've got it a way we didn't ever see, but we love it, so we've gone with it.
Yeah,
it's hard at first. And visual branding, bear in mind, anyone listening, visual branding, our website. Bear in mind, we are web designers and graphic and marketers. It's a one-page website.
Is it really?
Yeah. Why?
I didn't know that.
Literally, who we are, what we do, what we offer, client results, contact us.
Yeah.
I don't care.
Wait, mine is massive.
If you ever look at Google Analytics, the average person spends something like 20 seconds on a website.
Yeah.
They ain't going through all your pages. What we are doing with visual branding, I'll tell you, is we are breaking it down into 4 sections. And we started doing this. It will be going live in a few weeks. Basically, we're turning visual branding into, it's going to be called Visual Group.
Right.
Visual Group is going to be a one-page website. Boom, 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 boom. And at the top, it's going to have basically 3 sections. We're going to have visual branding, visual marketing, visual coaching, and it will send them to the individual websites. Because most people, we've realized, work with us for a certain reason. They either want branding, they either want marketing, or they actually want coaching. So instead of having it all on one website where it's just too much, we're actually going to have 4 websites, one main hub, go on the main hub, and they can pick which one they're looking for. And that one page will just purely talk about marketing. That one page will purely talk about branding, and then one page will purely talk about coaching.
So what's driven you to do that then? What's
simplifying, if I'm being honest, and in terms of messaging. For example, we write a Facebook post that's based on marketing. We didn't really want to put the link that says visual branding, and then they send them to a page that talks about branding, talks about web design, because it's on a minute. They don't care about that. The post that we wrote is about Facebook ads, so then they click on that. So we wanted to break it down that we can have a place to send the individual person based on where they want to go. People just don't care. They want to just know, right, what do you do? How can you help me? How can you do it? That's why sales funnels are so good, because sales funnels are based around one product. So that sales funnel is just talking about your product, that one product normally.
So tell us more about sales funnels then, because we know I'm a complete sales idiot.
Sales funnel is just everyone always gets good. Sales funnel is a website. It's just a website. It's designed as more of a journey. At the top of the page is a bit about you. You go through why they should work with you, how you're different, what you have to offer. Then you kind of finish it off with a bit more of an offer, if it's high, if it's low. Then you kind of put your testimonial. So it's a journey. By the time they get to the bottom, they're more inclined to want to buy something than just a website, which is more of a CV for who you are.
What about the enjoyment element of it for you with your work, with what you do? What's the one thing you enjoy most?
Probably the people. Working with people. You know, sales funnels and stuff is quite cool to make.
Yeah.
I like the designing side. Kerry's more the brander than I am. She's at it, so it's better that she does it. I do more marketing side. I like it's the people I work with, because actually, you know what it probably is for me? People who have ideas, they don't even know how to do it, and I'm like, well, it's easy, and they're like, what? No, it's not. I'm like, it is, because it's what I do. You just got to do this, and then basically what I do is I get these people's ideas and I make it, and I design it, and I give them advice on. Depends what they want from me, really. They want me to market it, they want me to design it. It just depends on the individual, really. I just like doing it because I bring ideas or dreams to light almost. Yeah,
because that's the thing. I say when I first started, I knew that I wanted to help people. I knew that it was around confidence because I knew my own journey, and I didn't want people to feel like that. But I had no idea where to start or what to do or how to put it on paper. I mean, obviously we hadn't met then, and I was working with Lewis, but we spent 3 hours and he was grilling me, and I was really tired at the end of it. But at the end of it, I thought what he'd done, which is what you do, it just pulled everything out of me, put it in front of me, and there was my, there was me, basically. There was my business.
Yeah, exactly.
And it was an amazing feeling.
It's not easy, but it is easy to make money online if you've got to have the knowledge, you got to have the experience. That's the two things you need to have. If you don't have that, that's why you need a coach, I'm afraid. You've got to gain that experience. You've got to gain that level of confidence to actually stand and talk about it. But because one thing I've learned, I did a video on this the other day, if you go to a meeting and if you jump on a live like we are right now and say that some other person asked me a question and I go, so you could like, I'm not paying for you. Sorry. I want someone who goes, right, this is how we're going to do it. This is what we're going to do. This is why I wouldn't recommend this. This is why I would recommend this. So when you go, thank you, done. I've got what I need. So you've got to have that level of knowledge, that level of confidence to sell and preach what you teach. Then it's just a matter of researching what people need from what you get. I've not done that per se yet, if I'm being honest. I haven't needed to. Visual branding's gone really quickly without actually, we're saying this every day, we've not done half as much as we should, if I'm being honest, which is exciting, because if we can do what we've done without giving it our all, then we know we can. But if I was going to build a product, I would start asking people a number of questions. What do you struggle with? What do you not like about marketing or branding? Then I'd ring them and ask them with more deep depth. And then I'd figure out everything that people hate and don't like about marketing. I'd create a product around it and I'd sell it for £100.
Yeah.
I tell you, I could get 1,000 people on it, especially if it's £100. I'd just run Facebook ads to it. Done.
No, you're not just doing Facebook ads. What happened to organic?
Organic's great, but it's long-winded. For £100, Facebook ads are better. Organic.
No, I like organic. I do.
I like organic, but it's better to sell you when you're a bit more expensive for like £50 to £100. People spend that money just because they're intrigued. What sort of people do you work with then? Mainly coaches. That's why it's really interesting. Seriously, we are working with more coaches than we ever imagined. All coaches, all who have like dreams, visions, ambitions on building products, selling products, what they do, what they offer, and we're just building them. It's really cool. We work with a few big corporate companies. We work with a few big corporate removal companies, property companies, estate agents. It's fun, but it's literally like, hi Rick, here's what needs to be done. Go off and do it. And it's more peaceful. I must admit, working with coaches could be harder work because it's more personal. But it's personal, it's quite nice.
What's the hard element of working with coaches then? I'm intrigued, being one myself.
So it's their baby. For example, you work with a big corporate company, there's 100 people that work for them, they just want you to get on and that's it. But when it's a coach, you're building their baby, their product, their everything. They're on you. What's going on? How you doing, Rick? Sis? Oh, what do you reckon about this, mate? Writing the content, they send you 1,000 messages because they want to get it perfect. Obviously, because I do marketing as well, they're always asking questions about what to do, how to do it. And it's hard. I mean, you know what it's like sometimes about kind of thinking, Jesus Christ, what I just said to that person, I should have charged about £500 for. It's so easy done. I've met people before, and I've done 2-hour meetings. I'm like, hold on a minute, I could have.
You're like me. You guys are like me. I like to be able to have that connection with people, so I don't mind giving my time because it's all about building a relationship. So it's, you know, I mean, we were talking earlier before we started. I spent an hour with a guy on Friday. Really liked him, and I know he's floundering in his business and things. But you know, as he said, he came away after an hour of talking with 2 pages of notes. And to me, I've given him a lot of value, and I really, that's the thing that I know I needed when I first started. And sometimes we can't afford everything when we first start, as you know. So it's people like us that when you can give something back, it also gives you that sort of warm fuzzy feeling too. So I
do love it. I do absolutely love it. And it's only in the last 6 months that I've really started pushing more towards it. And honestly, it's because I feel I'm ready. I was ready before. And I think this is a lot of problem with a lot of coaches. They want to do the dream. They want to be a coach. They want to build their own business, but they're not ready. They've got to learn it, they've got to do it, and then they've got to also live it. And then you almost feel like you have the confidence to then go, actually, no, I believe I can help you now. And I've only started doing it last 6 months. Before the 6 months just gone, I wasn't really giving any business advice or anything. I was just doing me, building my business, building my businesses, and that's it. And only recently I've started doing more giving advice.
I know, because that's the thing. I mean, a lot of people, as we were again talking about earlier, is the fact that they start in business, and like a coach, yes, you might be an amazing coach, but being a coach and being in business, you also have a business, and there's a lot to that business. And a lot of people forget that is really difficult. I mean, as we were talking about, because I've got a business background, I've not found it so easy. So I've got a wealth of knowledge I can pass on. But people forget that you know, there has to be 2 sides to you.
And one thing that I honestly think a lot of coaches need to figure out before they do it is what makes you different to every other coach, because there's so bloody many. Yeah,
absolutely.
Many now, and the problem is people are only going to pay for you if you have something to offer. And if you're in a situation that's worse off than your client, don't have value to offer that they don't understand or know, why should they ever pay for you?
I know, and it goes back to the same thing I've said before. It's about living, you know, living what you're preaching, basically. I mean, people always say to me, have you got a coach? Yes, of course I've got a coach. I need it. You know, I need to offload too. And I also have, you know, it's a continuous process. You're always working on yourself.
Always.
And so many people don't do that. And you think, well, if how can you preach something that you don't do yourself?
Yeah, it's true.
It's like goal setting things. Yeah, I do it. Accountability. Yes, I do it. I still do my affirmations. You know, everything that I teach people, I do myself. And I always say, you know, I won't ever give you a task that I haven't done myself, because I need to feel it too. I need to know what I'm talking about. And I think it goes for any sort of business. If you are not living what you do, then how can you sell it?
No, definitely. You're completely right. And it says it all. And that's why I've not really done this before now. Now I still, it's definitely, it depends what you're looking for as well. Like some people are looking for knowledge. Some people are looking to better themselves. You've got personal development coaches who are going to change you to become the best version of you, to then help everything else in your life work. At them, brilliant, highly recommend them. But then there's also the kind of people that are like, don't need that. They need to learn. They need the knowledge to pay someone to go, right, you know what, I'm good. I can get up every day at 5 a.m. and go to the gym and be Mr. on it. But I need to learn, how do I now take my business from where it is to that next level? And personal development stuff ain't going to do that. What you need is someone who's done it, or you need someone just a few steps ahead of you. This is why a lot of people go mad this day and age. I mean, I've had coaches before. I remember having a call with a guy, and I was thinking about getting a real big head coach. And I think I got on the phone with this guy, and he worked for the coach, and he was just a nonce. And I'm like, hold on a minute, you want me to spend 15 grand with this coach? You're telling me I might get you. Who are you? What do you do? And well, I'm a salesman. Well, I don't want a salesman.
Yeah.
You know, I'm about to spend 15 grand. You know, for 15 grand, I want to speak to the guy. And it's just, you know, you've got some people normally high at that level. You've got to invest if you want to take your business to the next level. But sometimes what I was trying to get out without blubbering on is you don't have to go 10 levels above.
Yeah, no, I totally get it.
You can just go for that person who is 2 steps ahead of you. Because that person is just that little bit above. We all know, once again, you know, if you work with me coaching, I'm not cheap, but I'm not 15 grand for like 2-3 months.
And I think all those, I mean, we had this conversation, didn't we, over coffee last week? That week before, and we were saying that the top level coaches also have those other programs below that, because not everybody can do this. And you know, I must admit, I was thinking about this during the week, and I was thinking, actually, there's an element of me that goes, if that millionaire wants to pay me 10 grand, great, but he's not going to get any more of me or any less of me than the person that's going to pay me 5 grand.
Yeah.
To me, I struggle with it in my own head, because obviously I want to help people in general.
And it's a fine line, because we have to put our prices up because we become more. It's just life, I'm afraid. And if you're not putting your prices up, you're missing out. The only way to become the level of these big coaches is to up prices, I'm afraid.
Yeah.
I started off charging 80 quid a month for online personal training. Technically now I charge 500. And they're like, hold on a minute, what? 500 quid? I'm like, yeah. But in 3 or 4 months, you won't recognise yourself. So how much is that worth to you? Yeah. Okay then, right. Yeah. So it's like,
and we know this is going to be my struggle in the next year, because I know obviously there's a lot happening for me next year, and I know at the end of it I'm going to be going, it'll be a little bit of imposter syndrome sneaking in, and a little bit of limiting belief. So this is why I need my own coach.
It is hard.
It is hard. Yeah,
really hard, but you just got to remember your worth, really. I think over time you charge more because you know you're better. Like, since we started visual branding, we've upped the prices 3 times. Yeah. Already. It's been a year. Been doing marketing for ages, but visual branding itself has only been going for a proper year. Yeah. Well, I've seen it in when the coaching accreditation I did, the guys that do that, coaching masters, I've seen, you know, their prices are increasing for the course I did. And I know they're switching it up and changing it, but it's amazing. It's, you know, but you see, actually, you're right to, because actually you're learning more, so people are benefiting more. So it does actually make sense. And I think that's, again, it goes down to what people forget is actually the amount you learn, the amount that you invest in yourself. Yeah. And people are getting that from you too. I know. I mean, I remember I had a coach about 2 years ago. To be fair, it was absolutely brilliant. I loved it because this guy I paid to coach me. I didn't even know really who he was. I didn't really care. Do you know the only reason I hired him to coach me? Because he just paid 40 grand to do Frank Kern's course. Oh wow! He went to the US, did his course, and then he came back, and then he basically went to me, "Oh, I'll coach you for 5 grand." I went, "Take my money. You just spent 40 grand on Frank Kern's course. Just teach me what he taught you. And we'll call it a deal." It was brilliant because I didn't need a coach. I didn't need someone to tell me what to do, how to do the mindset. I just needed someone to go, mate, what did you learn? Like, what's Frank Kern saying these days about sales funnels? What's he saying about conversions and Facebook ads? Yeah. About organic and da-da-da. And it was like, it's easiest 5 grand I've ever spent. There's people out there that you know, that's when you think you're worth more because you're learning value from serious people. Yeah. I know one of the biggest things I know a lot of coaches read this, the Prosperous Coach, the Rich Litvin book. Yeah. And one of the things that always makes me smile is when he's telling you that he was on the bones of his arse, and he literally I think it was the 500 or no, I think it was $1,000 in his bank account, something like that.
he had to send off to Steve Chandler because he wanted to do his course.
Yeah.
And that was it. He said that was it. They had no more money. So this had to work. Yeah. And actually, he said by doing that, he'd realised he'd invested in himself. And that's what Steve Chandler wanted him to do, was invest in himself. And then he worked alongside him, obviously, for years. Yeah. So it's a really powerful story. Well, it's the truth. It's a true story.
Yeah. It really does work. So you sometimes, by investing so much money, you've kind of just put yourself in the situation to go, I have to make this work now.
Yeah.
Just 10 grand. Okay, you know, I'm going to stay up tonight and get it done. But then if you invest £500, you kind of just go, oh well, whatever. That's how it goes. But you know, it's not like end of the world. It can happen.
And I'm a great believer as well in that you create a lot of it yourself through positivity. You know, if you're like me, I keep saying at the moment, I am so positive about next year. I mean, we were having this conversation, I say last week, weren't we? And I said, I am so excited about next year. And I know that's because I'm doing everything I'm doing now is building. And, you know, I find it exciting. So that way, the excitement will make it happen. If I was the other way and I was, you know, sort of doom and gloom and, oh God, what am I going to do about next year? Yeah. You create that, you know, that whole aura around you that goes, it won't work, because you've actually just driven it down anyway.
So definitely start doing your research now. Start putting together plans.
What can people take away from today then, Ricky? What was the big thing you'd say take away from today?
In terms of branding, I'll keep it. You are the brand. How do you look online? How do you come across online? How do you represent yourself to your ideal client? You got to realize that if you are trying to get clients online, they're watching you, they're reviewing you, they're judging you. So you've got to have that level of professionalism. You've got to have that level of how do you look? How do you come across? Do you sound professional? Are you giving enough value? In terms of marketing organically, I'm not going into paid. It's too much effort and it's too long. Organically, utilize every platform you've got, every social media platform. Speak to people, talk to people. You know, they interact with your posts, they like your comments, they like your posts. Message them, hey man, thanks for the like. How's things with you? What's happening in your business these days? You know, start conversations, build relationships. Don't do the old school stuff as well. Send letters, do flyers. They're not the best conversions, but you send enough of them, they work. And if you do sell a high ticket product, spending £100 on flyers compared to getting £1,000 back, I'd do it all day, every day. I'd pay someone to do it for me if that was the case. Yeah. So don't think too new. Think old school as well. But just remember that there's so many ways to market yourself. It's just about generating leads to your main product. Brilliant.
So where can people find you? How can they find you?
Well, just Google Ricky Ingram, and then you can see visual branding. So it might be my business that I have on my business side, and my other half, which you'll see, is called visual branding. But if you follow me, I do daily posts. You can follow the group. You'll see the business page as well. You also better see Bodysman Online, my personal website, which is just a website about me and the businesses I have. So yeah, check me out, guys. Really, any questions? Like I said, I'm always helping people. So just message me.
That's brilliant. Thank you so much, and thanks so much for today as well. I really appreciate it. I'll say, guys, so if you want to connect with Ricky, you know what to do, and I hope you got value out of today. I've certainly enjoyed it. Always do. Love talking to you. So thank you so much.
You're welcome.